I was a barista in my 20s, then later as an entrepreneur that traveled all over North America, really even halfway around the world. I went to Starbucks everywhere. I gave Starbucks cards away to my clients and to my employees. I even went to Starbucks in Tokyo because it felt like home. And then on March 1st, 2014, I was in a horrific, near fatal accident, suffered massive injuries, as evidenced here, including a traumatic brain injury. The first book that I was able to read 6 months after the accident, I think it was How Starbucks Saved My Life. And now, Starbucks, you've let me down. I just got back from a convention in Phoenix. While I was there, I wheeled to the Starbucks in the hotel, and every time I went, I asked for a grande iced latte in a venti cup with extra room and double cupped so that I could hold it between my knees while I wheeled through the hallway. And every single time, I heard the cashier clearly communicate this to the barista, and every single time, the barista put in extra ice because they couldn't understand the concept and didn't notice. And every single time, I just graciously took my coffee and put it between my knees and wheeled down the hallway. Okay, that's fine. But then I went to the airport, the Phoenix airport, and I went to the Starbucks there. It wasn't hugely busy, but there were a lot of people there. I again communicated this same thing to the cashier. I went down to the counter at the end to get my grande iced coffee in a venti cup with extra room. I was fully expecting the extra ice. Fine. So the barista puts the cup up on the counter for me. She put the cup where I couldn't reach it. And then I said, I'm sorry, as the counter is at chin height, I'm sorry, I can't reach the cup. She looked at me and turned back to the espresso machine. So a customer shook his head, made that little tisking noise, grabbed the cup, and graciously handed it to me. I put the full, because it had extra ice, cup between my knees, and I turned around, and another customer says, I think she made you two. I said, I'm sorry. I turned around, I looked at the cup, realized it hadn't been double cupped, and instead she had made me a second iced grande latte in a venti cup with the extra ice, and again had set it up on the counter where I couldn't reach. And again, I said for the second time, but I can't reach it. She ignored me, and I said, well, I think this one's for you because I already have one. What I really need is an extra cup. Obviously, she could hear me, and she could see me down here about 4 feet tall in my wheelchair. And so she put up an extra cup again. Oh my gosh, for the third time, where I couldn't reach the cup. So a customer came in, grabbed the cup, handed it to me. I double cupped, and I just looked at him and said, welcome to my world. Turned around and wheeled off. So Starbucks, you haven't saved my life. Your apparent lack of sensitivity training to your staff for people in wheelchairs has created an aggravation in my life. I love you. I'm a Seattle area native. I live in Puyallup, right down here in the suburbs. I'm a huge fan. Would you please, Mr. Schultz, address this issue with your company? As a professional speaker, I want to thank you for giving me a story that I can share with the world to highlight the need for real listening and paying attention to other human beings. For the sake of your company, though, that maybe isn't the message that you want to be sending to the world. Thank you. This is Elisa Hays, wishing you well.